So after last week, when they casually revealed that Leo was the weakest out of these kind of super soldiers, I think it caught a lot of us off guard. And to have the information on why he was the weakest, but clearly is such an overpowered guy now, the idea that he essentially learns and masters and copies all that he fights. So as it stood, there was obviously stronger people at the start, but living thousands of years and fighting countless armies and countless people, eventually you'll become the strongest. So I thought that was a nice way to clarify something that had me raising my eyebrows, because I was like, well, if he was the weakest, how the hell was he the only one to survive? Well, makes sense now. He was away from the front lines to start with, and he started to copy and master people's abilities and get stronger and stronger as the years went on. So it's a really nice, clever detail to cover something up that I think could have been an issue, but in return makes it an added addition that's welcomed for this story. But the true bread and butter of this episode is without a doubt the Demon Lord finally learning the truth about Leo, being funny and kind of what you were probably expecting. But the kind of casual end of just realizing that Leo wants to die. Like, Leo is firmly hoping that they will defeat him. And I think he's not going to put up a full fight because we know he could easily kill all of them. But I think the idea that they need to pull his heart out, that his heart is a philosopher's stone, he's giving him all the information about searching for the manual, and with that manual, if you can find it with the cooperation of humanity, there will be able to be peace between the two worlds, and you can go and probably save your own, because the time limit's there. They have like 7 days maybe before the portal closes, and they're kind of shit out of luck. And I think the idea of a story like this, often you'll have viewers, and I'd normally be there, like, oh, Leo surviving is something that I'm actively rooting for. But when you really think about it, right, it's a two-sided coin here of both of which I think are equally valuable responses. One, Leo never really got a chance to live a life that he wanted to, something that he could truly cherish and make his own decisions. So you can make the argument him surviving isn't pointless, because ultimately, he'll actually be able to be around what could be family and friends to him and have an amazing life. On the flip side, it might be too little too late, and this man truly just wants peace because he's kind of a broken machine. He's a machine that's lasted too long, and someday there's going to be a point where if there's peace and there's never any battles, he's going to essentially create the conflict so he can defeat said conflict. And I think it's a hard pill to swallow, but in a lot of ways, I think it'd be so bold if this story actually went the route of killing Leo. Not because of a vengeful reason or anything, but more so a bittersweet pill that we don't want to swallow, but might be for the best. And since I've heard that, the way this season will end, it very much could serve as a satisfying stopping point, it makes me more convinced that that could be the solution, because it wouldn't be the first time I've seen a story essentially switch who is the main character, and very well Akidana could become that, right? Though, just given my own history with anime, I assume Leo would survive, but it's almost like the hopeful optimist in me is wishing for the negative outcome, not because of psycho reasons, but more so it just feels like the right solution, but we're only going to know once we finish episode 12. I thought it was great, though, that he did take him out to the mountains, saying that there's a guardian there. As soon as he said that, I knew what was happening, but I thought it was nice because he doesn't want anyone to be in the crossfire of what could happen, and the fact that he threatens them that if you don't do it, I'll go and slaughter every human, and you're basically you're screwed. Because the Demon Lord, the Demon Generals, and everything, they don't want to just blindly slaughter humans, right? There's supposed to be peace, and had they gone and stole the Philosopher's Stone from humanity, their prized possession, peace would never be an option. But if you come to them with your own Philosopher's Stone and you're saying we just need a manual and we'll leave humanity alone forever, then therefore peace could truly be achieved. And I think it's just such an interesting concept that I don't recall seeing in anime, and that's what makes it so painful yet so... I just need more. I want to see the finish line. I'm not even worried even if it does cost Leo's life, because it just feels like the right narrative, good or bad outcome for this man. And like I said, you very well could make the argument of why they don't kill him at the end, right? Because maybe they'll say, you know what, we don't need the Philosopher's Stone, maybe we'll go about it a different way, and maybe they'll be able to, study his own heart or something. I don't know, there's different ways that stories could go about it, but as it stands, the likely bet to me anyway would be that they need that stone, but at the same time, if Akidana lets that portal close up and doesn't take his heart, that'd be a pretty bold move, but only time will tell. But it's not to say this episode was just hard-hitting drama. The first half was actually pretty nice, and I think what you assume would happen, even though you kind of would you hope that maybe she wouldn't be as outlandish with her attacks, but I like the kind of casual reveal of when, you know, he takes his helmet off because he realizes there's no time, right? And I love the fact that they have this very funny joke that I wasn't expecting, but added so much humor to what should be an intense situation. So as he's literally talking to her, explaining all this big knowledge, she keeps turning the wrong way. So like normally when someone's talking, you would turn and face them, but then she would face the window or face around here. And then she kept like turning the wrong way, and then you had to have the characters be like, no, you gotta keep turning until you realize. And then he just so casually reveals everything. Listen, I wanted to make sure that you guys weren't just gonna destroy humanity for no reason. I kind of believed in you, blah, blah, blah. Here's the solution, let's go do it. And then she launches one of her strongest attacks and he brushes it off like it's nothing. And I love seeing that conversation because you understand where the rage is coming from because, you know, it's this act of betrayal, like how could you, how was I such an idiot to miss this? But ultimately, like, you knew it had to end in some sort of a peaceful negotiation, such as the walk up the mountains to then even the casual, almost what you could call a snowball fight, which I thought was nice before shit really hit the fan. But I love the fact that it makes sense for the characters, and for the generals, they truly trust, and they are trying to convince her that it's okay. But for someone who literally essentially lost everything during that battle, you know, this is the one person she hates, and now you're questioning this person I was about to give a 5th general status to. What in the actual hell? Was he really just bullshitting me this entire time? I must be an idiot. So you understand where everyone's coming from. As funny as it is, and some of the cute faces and stuff that are throughout the episode, it kind of just blends that nice, it's wholesome, it's funny, but it's super dramatic, right? And I mean, in terms of where I want to see it go, I just want to see it stop at a satisfying stopping point. If that means Leo lives and somehow they can navigate around the Philosopher's Stone, cool. But if it's, you know, the solution of some magic, like, that'd actually be kind of cool. What if they do some weird magic phenomena that gives him a human heart that lets him live a human lifespan but not let him carry on forever? That'd be cool too. There's a lot of things that could happen in a story like this, and the fact that I'm not convinced one way or another is pretty damn amazing, because typically shows like these with that fantasy element, it gets very easy to predict in the late game, but this one honestly has me scratching my head more than usual, which is fun for a weekly experience. I mean, I leave another episode of I'm Quitting Heroing. We're 3/4 of the way through. We have 3 episodes left to go, I believe. I don't think this is a 13 episode one. I believe it's 12. So yeah, I mean, the fact that we just have a few episodes left, it's insane to think that this show is gone as quickly as it came around, because this one I thought would be good, but man, it's really proved me wrong in the later episodes of being like, it's not even just like it's a good show for fun action comedy. It's that the story legit has a good path that it's been following and building up, and I don't think many of us expected it to turn out as good as it did, from, you know, last week's emotional backstory and just the countless times it's really shown us something better than what you're typically used to with these fantasy style shows. But thoughts, if you have any down below, theories if you got any as well, just let me know what you're thinking. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you're new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.